Welcome to I Heart Geek. And welcome to another episode of I Heart Geek. I Heart Geek today is brought to you by Turtle Wax, who reminds you to wax on, wax off.
You stay focused.
I really hope that you guys know what we're talking about, because otherwise that made no sense. We are talking about martial arts in film and pop culture and everything else today. Are we excited about this, gentlemen?
Wow.
That says it all.
I'm more worried about a little bit of a revenge.
Oh no.
That's why I'm here.
Did someone kill your teacher?
Master Yen. He was a nice man. He did deserve it.
Nice long white beard, because they all have long white beards in those movies.
Yeah, wore a robe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, let's introduce this entirely new and different panel today. We've never had this configuration on mic before.
No, we've not.
No, so I am Dub, and I am your writer of the show and stuff, and I edit and stuff. And over to the left, we have...
I am the Black Geek, and today I will be cutting leaves with my hand as they fall from the sky.
That's kind of amazing. Wow. I wish I would have thought of that.
I am Blyze. I am the tech guy, and today everything I say is dubbed.
Wah, wah. That's one of those double things that we talk about.
And I'm a man that you once knew a long time ago. My name is Mr. Winchester.
I love how he try to make himself seem mysterious.
And today, I am perfectly centered within myself in Zen. And happy.
Yeah.
Happy to be back. Thank you.
How you been, bud?
I've been doing really good. How about you guys?
Not too bad.
Yeah.
How's the new hours of working the weird shifts that keeps you from the beautiful I Heart Geek family?
Well, let's see. I've got probably 4 more bags under my eyes.
That makes 12.
Yeah. I believe we talked about Stonehenge earlier. Yeah, that's kind of what it's looking like. No, everything's good, man. The job is going good. It's just very, very busy all the time. And, of course, always busy with my 2 little monster 5-year-old twins that are just running amok, and I just cannot keep up with them. But I do my best.
Outstanding. So, but we all want to say welcome back.
Thank you.
Mr. Winchester is scheduled every other month for 2 episodes per other month.
Nice.
So you're gonna get like 6 episodes of him.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for that check, though.
Yeah, keep waiting.
Wait, you get a
Wait
check?
by the mail.
Yeah.
Wait, you didn't get a check?
Oh, man.
Wait.
At this point, I'm in the negative. So.
I think we're all in the negative at this point.
You got me again. Darn.
If y'all want to help us
And
out
now I
with
know
this,
where revenge is coming from.
if y'all want to help
I
out
will
with this,
fight you.
you can go to our Redbubble. We haven't pushed that in a while. The link is in the show notes. Definitely check out some I Heart Geek merchandise.
Oh yeah.
It'll bring out your inner ninja. Did you like that little product placement there? I liked it anyway. So, we're talking about kind of the martial arts thing, I guess you could say. Huge genre. It's a lot bigger than actually... I mean, I think of, the kung fu stuff, and like, that's a pretty big thing. But then I started researching. It is a huge world. Mm-hmm. So, what is your guys' kind of forte with the whole martial arts thing?
Well, I grew up on the old 1970s martial arts movies, so stuff like Enter the Dragon, things of that nature, and that's where things started off. And then most of the first really popular, entertaining video games were Street Fighter, which is
Double Dragon,
and Double Dragon. So that's where the geek here started at.
I think I would have to say my introduction into it is anything with Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Growing up in the
So young.
growing up in the 90s and early 2000s is when that man was just pumping out.
He was on fire.
All sorts
Yeah,
of weird movies too. Some of them weren't even martial arts like lore based, like the Tuxedo. Just a
that one was so
But then you put him in it.
yeah.
But
And
tell
then
you what, Rumble in the Bronx was incredible.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So yeah, I think he was definitely my introduction into that world.
Yeah, mine kind of came more from the Americanized, blood sport,
That was a great one.
You know, with the ballerina Jean-Claude Van Damme.
He's a Van Damme guy.
The Marked for Death with Seagal, and
I like.
So watching a lot of those ones, and of course, you try to seek out some of the other movies, some of the older ones. Obviously, Bruce Lee. Everybody's always watched it, and
there's a reason why.
Yeah, being obviously a big sports fan as well, and then also where I grew up, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar being in what's it called?
Enter the Dragon.
Yeah, Enter the Dragon, and seeing something like that, seeing him play Chuck Norris. Yeah, I mean it's cool because you can go back so far. I mean, because as far as Hollywood making the films, it's only been since like 1955 or something like that, I think I read.
Yeah.
But, those movies have been being made for a long time. And then the martial arts itself have been around for, centuries.
Yeah.
On centuries. All their, all the stuff that they developed, and all those dynasties way back then. So it's cool how far back you can go and rabbit hole into it.
We're going to get real deep into this, but for now, let's jump right into, instead of the game show, we're doing our Who Beats Who.
And now, it's time for a showdown.
Okay, for this Who Beats Who, we're doing something different. We're doing the all the characters from Mortal Kombat. Don't know where this is going to go yet. This is usually something we write for Jason, but Jason's not. He's a little under the weather, which is why we have the different panel today. And he did want to convey that he apologizes for not being able to be on mic today.
We miss you, Jason.
So let's talk Who Beats Who with Mortal Kombat. So let's first off hit, who was your first character that you were going to go with whenever you're playing Mortal Kombat, and why?
For me, it's Johnny Cage.
Really?
I am a Johnny Cage fanatic. I like the cockiness of him.
I like the splits into the nut.
I was gonna say the nut punch, but if you think about it, that particular move is
effective.
part of his cockiness. And anyone,
no pun intended.
Right? And anyone that actually has played through and pays attention to the lackluster story as it is.
Oh, it's terrible.
You find when you get to Mortal Kombat 10 that it's been a Cage story the whole time.
It really has.
Just, I don't know, always liked him. As a kid, I went to Scorpion, and for no other reason than being able to use his moves was easy. Yeah.
Left, right, B, I think it was that.
Yeah, no, it was back, B.
Yeah.
Back B.
Well, this is embarrassing because I'm going with Scorpion.
Awkward.
So what is it about that character?
I don't know. He's just a cool character. Like, it's just one of those characters. At this point, he's the face of Mortal Kombat.
That is true.
Like, anytime you see any kind of visuals for Mortal Kombat, it's
Either
him or Raiden.
I would say Sub-Zero.
I would say I would agree with Sub-Zero.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But with that said, it's them against each other. It's Sub-Zero and Scorpion.
Yeah.
Always. It's always that combo.
That feud.
But he just super cool character. The get over here. Like,
with or without the mask?
With the mask.
With the mask,
yeah,
okay.
With the mask, for sure. Yeah.
I like him without the mask when he has the beard in the current one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I really like that look.
I like them with the mask. It just makes them feel more mysterious. It's
Fair
just,
enough.
I like the cooler look.
Now, how do you feel about the fact that he's part of a color palette swap? Like, is it just him in general, or do you like all the ninjas that fall in that category?
I think I like all the ninjas that fall into that category.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say before they get into fighting, I got to say this: the coolest thing about Scorpion is when he rips his head off and is the Ghost Rider underneath. I don't remember which one that really started in, or was that the
first one? Yep.
Oh, it got really pronounced, I believe.
Up block.
Not 10. I think it's the last one, I guess. I love it.
For me, Raiden was probably like my
Really?
favorite. Yeah, I like the whole manipulation of electricity and stuff like that. It was just a cool looking character to me.
He's a god.
So yeah, Sub-Zero I obviously always liked, but at the same time there is a wonderful New York hardcore band called Sub-Zero. Check them out.
Really?
Yeah, there's a little shameless plug for those guys.
I can't imagine you bringing obscure music
and
reference.
then Goro.
Goro
Goro
was cool.
just looked awesome.
Oh, yeah.
with the forearms and just big buff and.
He was actually, even though made out of clay, he was kind of scary looking in the first
Yeah,
one.
he was. Yeah, he was definitely like the more intimidated looking one. I think maybe that's kind of what drove me a little bit to him too. But yeah, Raiden and Goro are probably.
So you're gonna pick Raiden as your guy, or do you want?
I'll take Raiden. Yeah.
Raiden. Okay, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna cheeseball it up. I'm gonna say Bruce Lee himself, Jet Li. No. I'm not gonna take him. I'm gonna take what was the guy with the hat that was like the ancestor of Jet Li?
Kung Lao.
Kung Lao. That I liked his moves. I like his move set. I think he's every bit as good as.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh, you don't.
There's no judgment happening.
Carl has
over
some
here.
contention here.
I'm just.
Okay.
He was like the poor man's Liu Kang.
No, he absolutely was.
And then they put him in there, story-wise, tried to make him the better,
The better.
Liu Kang, and it just never was. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's just one of my ones. I just every time I play the game, I'm like, oh, here's this guy.
So at this point, Carl has wrecked my character and your character.
Should probably let you guys know I played Mortal Kombat first thing this morning.
So, and let's do this to make this a little bit more interesting a fight. Everyone also gets to pick a secondary character. Now, I don't want anybody from the original Mortal Kombat 1. Let's go with all those secondary, the Indian guy and all the other ones. So let's everybody pick a secondary character now.
Noob Saibot.
Oh yeah, which he was the one with the dreadlock.
No, he is the color. He's the black colors palette swap of the ninjas. He's literally a shadow that runs around throwing shadows at you, and you can't move or anything when he throws it at you.
Fair enough. Do you have a secondary?
I'm gonna go Kratos from God of War because he is DLC.
Did make it in there? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's in Mortal Kombat 9.
Cool.
Why am I seeing Freddy Krueger?
He
Because
was
he was
DLC.
in Mortal Kombat 9.
Yeah, they did a horror.
Freddy?
Of course, I'm
Or
going to take if Freddy is on a list of anything, I take Freddy.
And
Just for the record, Jason Voorhees is also in
Jason
there.
Voorhees.
he's slow.
Freddy will take him. I don't care what that movie says.
And I'm going to, for my secondary pick, the guy that should be the greatest person in the Mortal Kombat universe. Crap, I want to do that one. No.
Can I change mine?
Hold on, I'm going to say Spawn on mine.
Okay. I still like to change
I still
one.
want to use the DC universe, but I'm not going to because
You can. It's a game.
Yeah.
It's an official game.
it is, and it's actually that is my favorite of the Mortal Kombat series.
Mortal Kombat
Eesh.
versus DC.
I'm going to
Absolutely
change mine
favorite.
from New Sidebot to Shokan.
Which one is he?
Really?
Yeah, I don't. It's just remind me. Which one he
He's
is.
the big bad.
Oh, okay.
He's pretty much what ruins everybody's life.
Okay. Yeah, I remember who it is now. It took me a second.
Shokan.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so many good characters to pick
It really
from.
is.
There-
That list
And
is
there's so much
ridiculous.
DLC, and it's just such a great list. So let's look at these teams here. Let's start with, let's say, Raiden versus. Let's give Raiden versus Kung Lao. I think we know where that one's going.
Raiden takes that for sure.
I think Raiden definitely takes that one out.
Well, I don't know. They both teleport around.
Well, they do.
I'm sorry. No, there's no hope. Raiden wins.
That's not even a competition. I just said that he's my favorite guy to play with. There's a difference between.
Yeah.
That reminds
think,
me of Ricochet versus Brock Lesnar. Oh, sorry.
Just ugly. Yeah. Okay, so is this going to be a sweep for Raiden?
Unless he goes against Freddy.
So, yeah.
Okay, so for first one out, we'll have Kung Lao's out and Raiden is in. So this puts Johnny Cage versus Scorpion.
Oh man, a fight that has happened billions upon billions
That's
of
true.
times.
Although I gotta say, I have a movie that shows who the winner is.
I gotta defend Scorpion on that one. I mean, Johnny Cage he's just a man.
True.
Just-
But even the specter
so
of Scorpion, the specter of Scorpion still had nuts. And you take a nut punch
I'm pretty
from Johnny
sure
Cage.
it was you, Dub, who just said that Scorpion is also Ghost Rider.
Well, that's fair enough.
Ghost Rider 2 has nuts.
That is true.
Who played Johnny Cage in the movie?
I don't even know what his name is. That movie was so bad.
Linby something.
It was a lot better than Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Oh,
big
that
time.
was
yeah,
terrible.
for sure.
Yeah, that actually Mortal Kombat is one of the
I
better.
cannot think of his first name. His last
video
name is
game.
like Lyndon or Limby.
Well,
Hold on,
somebody you'll never
I'll
hear
look
from
it up,
again.
yeah.
No, he actually out there still making movies.
Is he?
Adult
Yeah.
films?
No,
he just has
he's
that
out there
face
still
for
making
it,
action
yeah.
movies.
Oh, there's a new Mortal Kombat movie coming out.
There
Yeah,
is.
there's-
yeah, they're- 2021?
But we'll
they're
get back to
rebooting
that
it.
after we pick our winners here.
I'm gonna have to still stick with Johnny Cage on this one.
Yeah, I'm just sticking with Scorpion. for
Lyndon
mine.
Ashby
There we go.
is the name of the
so
guy.
which are Scorpion or Johnny?
Remember the movie?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Johnny Cage. I mean, he just is kind of that sneaky little, badass that's gonna, find some way to win. I think that's just how that
Well,
ends up
actually,
happening.
your thought pattern actually just swayed me, and I'm actually going to go Johnny on that one. I want to pick Scorpion because the Ghost Rider thing, but
Johnny Cage.
honestly, we
wins.
don't really have time for ties. So
Finish him.
okay, so now let's look at our secondary characters, and then we'll go from there. Okay, let's go with Spawn versus Kratos.
Kratos?
Kratos. Spawn. I'm sorry. I'm not. Spawn
That-
is.
I'm gonna have to take Kratos.
Yeah, Kratos.
Really?
100%.
That
yeah.
God of War. He's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Never played it,
Oh,
so
it's
no idea who that is.
If
he
you-
has destroyed all of the Greek gods
Spawn has all
out
of
of
hell.
just because he was angry about his wife and kids.
Yep,
It just
and,
went on a rampage.
and the Norse gods.
yeah,
in
and the Norse gods in the new games.
in the
Yeah,
new
Oh, wow.
games too, yeah. So,
So
he's
he
taken Thor. He's taken Loki. He's
just
He beat Thor.
He beat
that
Thor.
beautiful blonde man. Him. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take that dude.
Okay. Wow, I'm just like sucking this.
I mean,
episode.
I like
Kratos.
Spawn. He's a good man.
taken. Yeah, but
He's a dead man now.
he's got some degree of morals, and the other one does not.
no, Kratos
Okay.
just kills.
And I'm gonna let you guys fight this one out. Shao Kahn versus Freddy. Let's start with Blythe on this one.
I gotta give it to Freddy. Shao Kahn's gotta sleep, and once he goes to sleep,
Does he?
Does
though?
he? We don't know
What
that.
you really think about
I
that
guess,
one?
yeah, I guess that's not established canon. Yeah, I got to give it to Freddy. It's just I think that he is kind of like the Johnny Cage argument. He's
Wiley.
he's just wily. He's
He
very
kinda-
like mischievous.
Welcome to prime time.
Yeah, he's going to find a way.
And you know what? I'm actually going to give it to Freddy as well. Only because he is tenacious, if nothing else. So
Yeah.
he may lose this and come back the next night in your dream. He's just never ending. So I
Well,
will give him that.
I don't think he has a soul either, so Shao Kahn can't do anything
No.
to him. I
Look.
don't think Freddy has a soul.
That's a good question.
No, Freddy does not have a soul because
yeah.
if anybody knows actually why Freddy Krueger became Freddy Krueger because of what he did,
Do
he
you
definitely
lose your
has
soul for
no.
those kind of things?
I
I would hope you have a damned soul, but I don't know
no,
if you lose it.
it's pretty much lost.
Okay.
And the nun mother.
We
cannot-
can't talk about those
Yeah.
kind of things.
No.
on the
We
show.
can't talk about this kind of thing.
No.
The man has no soul.
Okay, I'll give it that then.
But Freddy is the boogeyman. Mm-hmm. The unkillable boogeyman. Because you can't fight him in the dreams because he's going to win no matter what. Mm-hmm. And then even when he gets pulled out into the real world, if that can happen, that was in one of the lame.
He didn't do well in the real world.
He
at
did it
all.
not against Jason, but I mean, like
or
I said,
against or against his daughter,
well,
who had no powers.
they just wanted to do a feel-good story. They wanted somebody to beat Freddy. Nobody's going to beat Freddy. Yeah. Nobody's going to beat Freddy.
Well, even after they beat him, he still keeps coming back.
Yeah. And also possibly a new animated series.
nice.
So. Oh, that would
Because
be
they
cool.
keep pressing Robert Englund about revising the role
He's
of
too
Robert
I
old to
Englund.
heard he
play
said
it,
he's
but
done.
yeah.
He's willing to do it.
Yeah.
He's willing to do the animated
But not the
speaking.
voice acting.
He
He
does
doesn't wanna wear the
not.
makeup
He does
again.
not want to wear the makeup again. He does not want
Okay,
to.
I thought
I
he
don't
was
like
up to doing
act.
at least one more.
Yeah.
Okay, so we give that one to Freddy. So okay, we have 2 rounds left. Let's go. Raiden versus Kratos. God versus God.
Kratos.
With the way you just explained what Kratos was, Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll take out Raiden.
Yeah,
He'll-
I'm giving it to Kratos.
You know the sucky part about this? He's probably going to win, so it's going to be a DLC character that's going to beat
Yep.
everybody.
DLC characters.
I don't know.
I don't
Kratos
know.
even has to go to sleep.
Kratos
We'll
has
get back to that one.
Kratos has nuts.
So this this one's a no-brainer. Johnny versus Freddy.
I don't know.
Does Freddy have the proverbial?
Yes.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does. We've seen that actually. I think in 3. I think someone nailed him in.
And Johnny has come back from the dead
So
too.
this movie does happen, and Johnny Cage definitely wins.
Yeah.
If this movie is made, Johnny Cage wins.
Hey, I'm gonna have to go Johnny.
I'm gonna go Johnny just to throw it all off.
Oh man, I don't want to go Johnny, but
You're going to.
There's something about Johnny Cage. Let's
yeah,
just be honest.
I'm going Johnny with it.
You've been caged.
I did not see this
First
coming.
off, I'm not gonna concede Freddy to a guy who's 16 years old and tapping his friends, a little swank as his finishing move. So I'm gonna stick with Freddy, but I know I'm outnumbered.
I'm just saying, Johnny's also established to have some inner power that he has, kind of a Ryu kind of inner power.
Yeah.
So
Johnny
he
is the character that figures out that you can pull Freddy out of the dreamscape, and then that's when he
And then
takes him.
hit him in the.
and then
Yeah,
he
and
just
then-
tears them
yeah.
poor
In the man's
things
hand.
up.
Okay, so I did not see this as the main event when we first started, at all. But we have Johnny Cage versus Kratos.
But Kratos takes it.
Kratos. Well, no, I'm not going to let Kratos have it just because I don't want to see a non-Mortal Kombat character win it.
I mean,
considering we're doing Mortal Kombat.
I like Johnny and all, but Kratos got balls of steel. I hit him there and break his knuckles.
Well, they obviously work. He did have a kid, so.
Yep.
Oh, that's true.
Boy.
Oh, did that change things? Everything's about the nut shot. This is.
That's what I'm saying. We're
It's all-
16 years
this is
old
all-
again.
all
or
convention
last
on-
night with me and my friends.
Well, he's known to knock someone's head off too.
I'm going Kratos.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I
Even
hate
if
to
you
say
take the
it.
blades away, he's still just in a bare knuckle brawl.
In
Between
the
Johnny
bare
Cage
knuckle brawl part, he
is-
would, because Johnny is martial art, but he's still Hollywood,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Kratos is just
Hey, he's like Steven
raw.
Seagal. Leave him alone.
Yeah, Kratos is just raw. I live off the land.
Yep. Pure
He
spark.
doesn't even give his kid a name. He just calls him boy.
Nice. Yeah, that's a pretty compelling argument, and yeah, Johnny's gonna have to eat his.
Yes. Gotcha.
So there we go. So there we go, Kratos.
So it should be Kratos is the winner. Unfortunately, all our listeners wrote in, and they all wrote in Harley Quinn. So she,
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah. Yep. So
kidding.
once again, I guess I'm here for revenge.
I don't see Harley getting past. There's
Yeah.
a lot. I don't.
Harley
see.
doesn't get past
Harley doesn't
anything.
get past
Not
anybody.
anything. Nothing from the last Hoobie.
Because you want to know why? She has nuts.
Yes, she does.
okay, so our winner is Kratos, a non-Mortal Kombat character.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's move on from the Hoobie 2 a little bit, but kind of stay in that for a second. Johnny Cage, do you think he's more based on Chuck Norris or Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Oh, Van Damme.
or-
They've actually said Van Damme 100%. Van Damme wouldn't allow his likeness, and that's how they ended up switching it to
He's
Johnny
kind of a
Cage.
tool.
Yeah.
Well, some people just take themselves more seriously.
I've never heard anybody say a positive thing about it.
But you know what? It worked out much better for the franchise than that, because if they would have been able to keep it as Van Damme being in the game, I doubt we would have been able to keep that character for 11 games.
Yeah.
So
I agree, because Van Damme definitely, as soon as he blew up with Bloodsport and everything else, he probably really thought really high of himself, and that's too bad that he didn't jump in on that, because Mortal Kombat has made
Oh, he would have.
way more
billions.
Oh yeah.
But again, I see him as the kind of person that would have
Wanted
let his
too much.
likeness in the first game,
And then
and
stopped.
then been like, oh no, he would have asked for too much going
Yeah.
further.
Yeah.
So
Well, there was a reason he was fired from Predator. I did not
Yeah.
get to show my face. You don't understand. I'm perfect.
Yeah, and a great dancer.
But you know what? Something that we don't, something we don't have in any of the Mortal Kombat games actually is any live person, like an actual. There's no Bruce Lee, Brandon Lee.
Yeah.
Well, but
Chuck
honestly,
Norris.
Bruce Lee is.
I just think it would be interesting.
Yeah.
They've all been based on.
Yeah, but I think it'd be nice to have, like, there's a UFC game out there that actually has Bruce Lee in the game.
Well,
Oh, really?
can I tell you why I'm glad they don't? Is because of the extreme violence of that. I want to have like a clear delineation between fantasy and reality.
Oh, okay.
And if you have a real person, ripping the spine out is gross. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now
No,
when it's
that
Chuck
definitely
Norris.
makes sense. Yeah.
I
agree with that.
think in the especially now with games like creating actual stories, like maybe back in the day you would have been able to get away with that because the story was there, but it wasn't as extravagant as they have now. But now you have such a big mythos of the Mortal Kombat universe that putting a
real
known person
in there,
into there would be a little bit weird.
That's true.
It would be funny though if you put Chuck Norris
Chuck
in there
Norris just
and
seems like
nobody could kill him.
Yeah.
You can't fatality on him. You can't do anything to him.
Like,
Oh,
every, like,
like
you do
Bo- like
fatality,
Bo
it's like
Jackson and,
fatality failed.
Like Bo Jackson and Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can run,
Exactly.
you can run both
Yeah.
ways, and you're still gonna beat everybody.
Speaking of Bruce Lee, I know he hadn't seen it, but have you seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood yet?
I have not had a chance. We're probably going to be watching
You-
it tonight.
Oh, please watch it. There is a Bruce Lee moment in it.
Is there?
Yes, there is.
Oh, okay.
And it's gained a little bit of attention, and people are a little upset about it, but I think it's perfect. You definitely watch it.
Okay, let's move on just a little bit. Let's talk about martial arts in general. You know, it's just such a fine line between violence and beauty. Like, what's some of these examples? What makes this so it's so cool to see? Just like it's ballet with beating the crap out of each other.
I think you actually said it. Martial arts looks choreographed, but it's like a choreographed ass beating.
Yeah.
It's just it's pretty. It
is.
is artwork. That there's no other way that I can describe it other than that.
Yeah, it's not like boxing. It's it's just there's like a flow to it.
Yeah.
And there
think-
seems to be a degree of respect throughout a fight.
That's what I was going to say. I think that sometimes it doesn't feel like they're trying to beat the crap out of each other or take each other out. It almost sometimes feels like they're fighting to fight, and there's like a mutual respect there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. There, that thing that I sent you had if you just allow me a moment to look it back up, one of the little notes that he had inside of there and what he talked about as far as like choreographing everything, and it's right.
You know, shout out to Sean
Here.
for choreographing this kind of stuff.
The fights constitute a non-verbal story. My purpose is to tell a story without words. If I could, I would tell the same story with very little dialogue. So the
Perfect.
It's shown as dialogue as like they're doing it, and it's funny because I watch it and I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm a math whiz who did basic math. But like you can almost count, like especially watching Jackie Chan when he does, and you can just count like 1, 2, 3, 4, like how their movements are going back and forth, and like he's going backwards while this guy's going forwards and then back, and I mean it's just a dance, almost in the way that they're doing it. And of course, like you said, it's an ass beating.
With it's like a dance with high stakes.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah. But I mean, it's so different from anything else, which is just, I mean, that's what I think we're all attracted to, and that's why stuff like John Wick and Matrix and all that is just
It
similar.
transcends. It transcends into any movie.
and that's why you can watch a Japanese movie and be okay with it, with like not understand a word, but you get everything.
Yeah.
Well, I always love that line in Matrix where, the first thing when they put it in there and all of a sudden I know Kung Fu. Show me.
Yeah.
And
you get it.
And that was just awesome. Yeah. Why wouldn't you want to know Kung Fu at that point if they're, inserting all these programs into you? So, yeah,
That probably would be one of the first things I would want in. Yeah, that's true.
Put Bruce Lee in me. And I'm just going to go wreak havoc. So
Wow.
I don't even know who I'm going to go beat up, but somebody's
going to get beat up.
But I mean, but there's also something about you see these like great martial artists, and it's not, they're never going and looking for a fight, and because I feel like it doesn't work as a art form if you're looking for a fight. It's more being in the moment, the flow of it all.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of why we all get very attracted to it.
That and the swords.
I don't know. One of my guys on my list later is the guy that's looking for a fight.
Oh, is that Mr. Bolo?
Well, Bolo too.
Yeah.
Okay, two of my guys.
But to your point that I just forgot, actually.
Sorry.
Because now I got excited talking about that.
Looking for a fight.
But yeah, looking for because they already know, and there's that perfect part in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood too that Bruce Lee explains something. But because they already know, they're walking, mercenary. They can. They don't need to show you that they can beat your ass. They're going to.
Yeah.
So there's no need to pop off if somebody gets mad at you or whatever because you just know, yeah.
And a lot of times they don't want to.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to do this.
They're like, please stop. Please stop. Please. Whack.
Yeah.
I told you to stop.
Somebody's going to come clean up this blood, and it's not going to be me.
So we're running a little short on time, but I want to hit this before we get to our listener feedback, and that is, what are our thoughts on the kind of the sub-genre of comedy in martial arts films? People like Jackie Chan is a great example. Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
The list goes on and on. Do you think that it perverts the art form, or do you think it's just another great thing?
It
Or do you
depends
not
on
like it
how
at
it's done. In comedy is subjective to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love Jackie Chan's comedy. I love the drunken what is it?
Drunken Monkey, Drunken Master.
Drunken Master.
I love that.
The concept of that is just amazing too.
Right. But then there's not Kung Fu Panda, but Kung Pao. Kung Pao, thank you.
Yeah.
I just can't sit through it.
That's
I
one of
Oh,
my-
really?
It's one of my favorite movies.
cannot
I
do
love
it.
that movie
It
too.
drives me nuts.
Yeah.
So it just depends.
That
But,
movie,
yeah,
I
comedy.
think, is a genre of its own where it's not trying to be any kind of serious.
Oh,
Like,
no.
It's 100% going in there knowing like.
Yeah.
I get why you. I
doesn't
get why
take
you don't
itself
like
seriously.
it.
It's like I
definitely-
said, comedy is subjective to
Yeah,
everybody.
exactly.
And it's just
Yeah.
See, the way I look at it, and we've discussed it obviously a million times on this podcast, but it's kind of the Mel Brooks thing.
yes.
It's the parody, and Mel Brooks makes everything better by the parody of it.
Yeah.
And I think in that, which when you watch Drunken Master 2, you almost think that it's like a parody, but it's really not. But the guy does get drunk just to fight, and he just beats the hell out of everybody. But I like the funny parts about it all. I mean, I like Michael Winslow and freaking Police Academy.
Yeah.
Doing his Kung Fu stuff, yeah.
doing the dialogue.
Yeah.
But yeah, the parody of it all, I think, makes it even better. I don't think they're trying to tarnish anything. I think it's just kind of lifting it up a little bit, and you can always just still see funny in all of it.
Yeah, I think it's a genre that can dip in and out of it. It's a genre that can dip in and out of any other genre.
I think it's
You
its
can have
own genre.
Well, you can have sci-fi,
of course.
sci-fi
Yeah.
martial arts. You can have comedic martial arts, straight action martial arts. You can have
Horror
drama, horror
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can go anywhere.
Yeah, it's one of those few things that can definitely go out into every single type of movie.
Boogie Nights, anybody? I know karate, and that was his. That was his one thing. Is he was going to beat up the guy for their records to get the masters for the records. And he's like, "You want to fight? I know karate." There we go.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
what was that one? I don't know if it meant to be comedy, but it kind of was. Was The Last Dragon?
Oh, that's on my list.
So enough.
It's a comedy.
That's that we call it. I say,
Best
I don't.
mofo, no doubt, around this town.
That's right.
I don't think it's corrupts the whole martial arts thing, but I think it is got to be thought of as its own genre.
Really?
I don't think it's his own thing. I think it's like Jackie Chan. I would rather watch Jet Li than Jackie Chan, even though they're both
really?
as good. But the comedy of it is different. It makes it feel different all the way around.
I would
My own
rather watch
opinion.
Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Oh, I like Jet Li, and he's extremely talented, but I've always just enjoyed Jackie Chan.
Jackie
a lot
Chan
more.
is because Jackie Chan's martial art is entertaining.
Yeah.
It is.
Like,
and
it
when you
is
sit
way-
there and you find out that, this dude does all of his own stunts.
It changes.
No matter what. And you just sit there and marvel
No, and that
at
is
what
amazing.
this guy is doing. I mean, not to say that Jet Li probably doesn't do all the stunts too, but to me, it's just more, Jackie puts way more into it.
But
me.
if he wasn't doing comedy, it would feel differently. It does not feel like the same movie that someone taking it seriously would. Even though, honestly, as a martial artist, he's probably better.
But is he actually doing the comedy, or is it all of his cohorts? I mean, if you
No,
watch
he
a
does
movie
the
like
comedy.
Rush Hour,
So yeah,
Facially,
is
it's
it-
him.
is
You
it-
look at his face, it's him.
yeah,
I'm
is
not-
it
I'm not saying he's
Tucker doing
ugly,
all
but
the
his
comedy?
expressions.
so here's
Yeah.
my question for you then. Rush Hour. What kind of movie is that?
Comedy with martial arts in it.
Okay. Can't even think of a different movie to put out there. Well, no. It's
The Matrix.
what's the
That
Matrix?
has-
That's I would call that a sci-fi martial
movie,
arts.
yeah.
Sci-fi
Enter the
martial arts.
Dragon.
Straight up martial arts. There's no story to it. It's a video
Well,
game.
of course
No,
there's
there's a
story to
complete
it.
story.
There's
Yeah,
a whole
there
story.
is.
to
He's
it.
trying to infiltrate.
I get it. No, I
for-
get it. But the story is really
So
secondary
why?
to the fight.
Wait a second. So why would that movie not be a spy movie?
Oh,
What?
that's a good point on that one.
So is what there is no pure martial arts movies except for maybe the samurai stuff out of Japan.
What about Balls of Fury? It's all about ping pong, but they got some martial arts in it.
So what is
Wow.
that? Is that a comedy?
That's comedy.
See,
Napoleon Dynamite. Does anybody want to take a roundhouse from a guy wearing pants like this? I know
Yes.
Pinocchio over
Yes,
there does
I
it.
do.
that's right.
One thing I want to say about Jackie Chan before we move on, I think why he does so well in comedies is because I would almost call him the Carrot Top of martial arts, because it's not just his
That
martial
sounds
arts.
demeaning.
it's his-
Everything he uses
everything he
is
uses.
a prop.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Yeah.
From there's like scenes where he's like fighting in a bank, and that little hole that you push the money
Oh,
through,
yeah.
he dives through it.
Yeah,
Or
that was
he's
in Rush
kicking
Hour too.
cans.
It's
Yeah.
funny. I watched that just the other day, and
It's
that whole
just-
scene is just
I
amazing.
think
Right
that's
there.
one of the reasons why he does so well in comedy movies, is because his martial arts that he does in those movies is almost comedic.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the things that he does are just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe
Well, it's
he
not
just did
almost,
that.
it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I just pulled this up from that article I was reading. So this article, real quick, is from a website called offscreen.com, and they're talking about all the fight choreographers and what they use in there. So like they're saying right here, searching for a way to keep or way to change the representation of fighting to keep it interesting and stimulating. The utilization of different objects in different situations is one of the shrewd devices used to maintain and heighten interest. Jackie Chan is a good example of this tendency, using anything that falls in his hands: staff, brush, ladder, etc.
Yeah.
Like that. A chair. Jackie Chan is always using a chair in one of his movies. So, and what another thing I read about, they talked about some of the earlier ones, is that there was a guy, one of the fight coordinators, that all he ever did was an umbrella. Why did he have this umbrella? He just carried an umbrella every day. But what did he do with that umbrella? Beat
Also
the hell
cool
out of
stuff.
every single person around him. So, and thus they use,
It's prop comedy.
like you said, prop comedy.
Exactly.
And it was not necessarily comedy, but I mean, just you
No,
use the
yeah.
props to show it up.
And the fallback to what I was thinking earlier, here's what I was going to say the difference is Rumble in the Bronx.
Yeah.
What is that?
That's a straight up. That's not comedy.
But he does all the same moves in that movie.
The comedy's in his face, and not because he's ugly. It's to say, I'm not insulting the man as far as his looks.
Hold on a second. Okay.
I really
hold on,
hope he's
hold on.
not listening to this.
Let me explain before I get in trouble.
Oh no,
Let me
I wasn't
explain
going to go on that, but I was going to expand on like when he's asked in some of the movies. A lot of henchmen seem to be martial arts experts. Take Roadhouse.
Yeah.
The guy who's going to fight, Dreamy Patrick Swayze. He's
You better
martial
not be
artist.
talking negative on my Patrick.
I will never. Did I say Dreamy?
He said dreamy.
He said
I
dreamy.
did say Dreamy. I'm pretty sure I didn't stutter.
He's about
on
to
that
go
one.
negative on the guy that
Yeah, riding on a horse with Patrick Swayze behind you. Anybody want to pump you up? All right, I just
You're
branched
not
off
going to kick him out for
300
eating
times.
crackers in bed.
But no, I mean even the henchman for that guy was a martial artist. He was using the pool cue and doing all that kind of fun stuff, and and Patrick Swayze himself knew a little bit of martial arts. It looks like, but I know mostly it was like the meditative
Yeah.
Tai Chi stuff. But that's the thing. A lot of people all right, we got this henchman. What does this henchman do? Either he's a big, huge guy who will just pound you into the sand, or they know martial arts. So
Yeah.
Fair enough.
it's the way I look at it.
But going back to what I was saying, the Jackie Chan is comedy. It's in his
good-looking guy.
face, not because he's ugly, because he knows how to make a joke with his face, with his expressions.
Yeah.
And that, honestly, if he would have made his trademark faces that he makes in Rush Hour and all that, it would have been a
So
comedy.
you're saying John Belushi style
Yeah.
with his face.
He tells a complete story with his face.
Mr. Bean.
And that's
if
it.
you
And
will.
that's and when you add that with the martial arts, it's just something different and unique and special.
I totally see what you're saying. He doesn't have to speak in order to get his point across or to be funny or yeah. I get what you're saying.
Nice. So
But you're saying he's ugly.
oh jeez. Let's move on to our listener feedback.
Jackie, I will give you his address.
If I can come, I will give you his address.
And now, let's see what all of our geek rock stars have to say.
Okay, for our listener feedback today, we asked our people, what is your favorite martial artist or martial arts character? We had a lot, and we actually had to cut quite a bit because you guys are awesome and you give us a buttload of content, and we really appreciate it. But because Courtney's not here and I don't like to do it, I'm going to have Blythe read it out for us today.
Hey guys, thank you so much for giving us all the feedback. We really do appreciate it. Our first one comes from Dino from the podcast. Probably Frank Dukes.
Dukes.
I
put up your
I
dukes.
asked them how to say this name
2 seconds ago.
2 seconds ago, and I already
Literally.
So Frank Dukes, Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport.
Yeah.
Though in real life, Dukes is very controversial and quite a fabricator of tales, but
This is true,
Bloodsport
too.
was a film I became enamored with since it first came out.
See, I agree with him. That's kind of one of those things where, everybody got behind Frank Dukes.
I like the mythology, though.
Yeah,
It's
and
mythology.
it is absolutely
Did anything happen that he said happened? Probably not.
a microcosm of it happened.
His friend might have gotten beat up. I think
Yeah.
that was it. Booger from
No,
Revenge of the Nerds.
ogre.
Ogre.
Yeah.
Our next one is Scott Skeen, studied Aikido because of Steven Seagal in Above the Law, so Nico Toscani.
That's a good one, actually.
MMA Jesse says, Bruce Lee is the GOAT. Enter the Dragon is my fave. Legend has he pulled the chest hair of my number 2 favorite, Chuck M. Effing Norris.
Nice.
The Voice,
Hi, Todd.
that Jet Li, the real deal. Also, Aang from the Last Airbender series.
Not the live action, because that's terrible.
No, the live action.
Never
is,
watched
is
those.
specifically what he said.
You should.
Just kidding. Live action, sorry, not live action. Airbender series. Also, David Carradine's depiction of Kwai Chang Kang in Kung Fu deserves mention.
Because he's looking for his brother. But tell you what, that I got to insert this real quick. That whole show got ruined for me after I watched the biopic about Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, when you hear how he got screwed out of that. And it's true, but when it's in my face, I can't enjoy the show anymore.
So we also have Danielle Ariana.
Danielle.
Sorry, Danielle. Danielle Ariana and Kung Fu Panda, proving that not everyone can be a great artist, but a great artist can come from anywhere.
Good one.
Nice. Very nicely said.
Christina Belden, so Jackie Chan, his talent, heart, and comedic timing is always worth the watch. Our very own Miss Geeky Page, Michelle Yeoh. She is considered a female Jackie Chan. Her stunt work in Crouching Tiger is out of this world.
Yes, it is.
Lots of wires.
Tanya Nekadome. Ray Park as Darth Maul brought such artistry to Star Wars,
Great
which
call.
was lacking in the original trilogy. The duels in the prequels had such a calculated eloquence to them. I'm glad the sequel trilogy kept with this, because we got to see not only the artistry, but brute force and manic aggression, which wasn't just cinematic eye candy, but added to the characters' arcs.
Tanya, if you want to write in more, I loved your
That
answer.
was great.
That was fantastic. No, you
Nicely
need
said.
to write in more. I'm just leaving that there.
Nicely said.
Lindsay Thomas, Donnie Yen is amazing and plays Ip Man in Ip Man 1, 2,
IP.
3.
IP.
Oh, sorry. IP Man in IP Man 1, 2, and 3. IP Man was Bruce Lee's master. Don Yen nails it. I love his composure during all of his fights, like they are nothing to him. My favorite fight is in the end of IP Man 3.
I need to watch these now, I think.
You've never watched the IP Man movie?
I've
Oh,
heard a lot of
man.
good stuff about it.
Good?
Yes.
Justin Zelensky. Tony Jaa in Ong Bak. He's the real deal, full contact in his films, did his own stunts, no wires, just 100% kick you in the face or above your face, or just kick the crap out of you. He's 540s, a freaking street lamp.
He 540s a freaking street
He
lamp.
540s a freaking street lamp.
Which is pretty incredible. So again, thanks guys for your feedback. We had to cut a couple because you can see we had a lot of it. Keep it up, guys. You guys are awesome, and you make the show about 1,000,000 times better when you do these.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so let's go from there. Let's jump right into the main event.
Now it's time for the main event.
Okay, on this version of the main event, we asked each other, because that's what we do, what is your favorite martial arts film, character, pop culture interpretation? Now, we did go all over the board on this because we do that. So my number 5 would be Daniel Russo, the Karate Kid, which was my first love into, white guy can do karate,
I was gonna ask which Daniel are you
The
going
first
the old one?
Oh wait, are we? Has anybody even seen that remake?
My
God.
child made me watch it.
yeah.
I
And
lost a bet. Oh my no!
I didn't like 4, and I
No.
didn't like that
Oh,
one.
I like it because it 100% shows you that Danny's the villain of that story.
Yeah,
no, see,
100%.
Cobra Kai is fantastic. I did watch
no,
Cobra
but
Kai.
if you watch this the reboot, it
really?
yeah.
Ah.
Well, that and the
Oh,
fact
you're
that-
talking about. Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
Oh no,
So I
yeah, the
was talking about
reboot
Cobra Kai.
with Will
Will
Smith's
Smith's
kid.
kid. Yeah.
Well, I'll put it this way: it's called the Karate Kid, but they don't do karate in it. They do kung fu.
Kung Fu.
It's very prevalent. They keep
Do you like
pushing
my
out
kung
there.
fu?
Yep. It's just. But Jackie is great in the movie.
Yep.
But yes, I do think that movie really did bring karate in general to the masses a lot more than any other movie.
Oh, the
since.
original Karate Kid.
Yeah.
No, he's talking about the 2012 remake.
No,
that's
I'm
his.
not.
No, but he,
favorite.
No,
he's,
I'm not.
But he's
That's
saying
you.
about
You're
it.
the baby.
I really hope you're not.
No, I'm not. And let me read this before we go on. And this is because Jason was sick. He wanted to throw his 2 cents in.
Yeah.
And he said his favorite martial arts moment was nothing beats the first time Neo and Morpheus square off in the training fight in Matrix. 2 actors not traditionally known for martial arts are beautifully choreographed. It also sets the stage for many gravity-defying martial arts fights of later movies. And that's really says it all right there.
My number 5 is Robin Shou as Liu Kang in the Mortal Kombat
Yeah.
movie, the first movie.
That was that wasn't. But he did a fantastic
Yeah,
job of being Bruce
I mean
Lee.
the movie has its ups and its downs. But
it's a terrible
his-
movie, but it's fun to watch.
But yeah, his movements in there are really, really good. He
They're
kind of
real.
sticks out. Yeah.
My number 5 is Iron Fist. I love the character from the comics. I'm one of the few people who was okay with the casting for the Netflix shows.
I had no issue with it.
Yeah, me neither.
I didn't hate him. I think that it was just not written.
I think the writing wasn't.
It wasn't
Writing-
written to
the
be.
directing was terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't written or directed to be a martial arts
Yeah.
show, and that's 100% what it should have been. I want to see them bring him back into the MCU, even if they keep that same actor, and just I want to see them do right
Would
by
you
that
like
character.
him back as? Would you like him back as just with Iron Fist, or would you like him back with Luke Cage as Heroes for Hire?
Heroes for Hire.
Either or, yeah. I would be.
I don't know
be-
about how
That's
he
me.
would hold as a solo, but I would love to see Heroes for
Yeah,
Hire.
I would love to see Heroes for Hire too. I think they were kind of leaning towards that in Defenders a little bit, trying
Yes.
to do that little spin-off, but either way, I'd just like to see him back.
Nice.
The people I'm going to talk about for number 5 are not the caliber of gentlemen with whom one should quarrel. And I'm talking about the Wu-Tang Clan.
Now go
Wu
back.
Tang ain't nothing up, but
There you go.
To me it's just amazing that when they're all together and everything they sing about. I mean,
It's the mythology of
yeah,
them.
36 Chambers of Death, still to me one of the greatest albums, as far as hip hop is concerned, and everything about the Shaolin monks that they sing about. It's just it's so much fun.
And there's something just completely different about what they always did.
There is, and that's why you will never hear anybody ever talk junk about Wu-Tang.
that is very true. Love Wu Tang.
Nobody will talk junk about Wu-Tang.
Well, they have really designed kind of you use your imagination for what you think they are, and it's because you are using your imagination. It's a perfect film, if for lack of a better term. So my number 4 is Master Ken. If you've ever watched these videos, they have like 100 hits in 5 seconds, and then they slow it down, and he's eating a sandwich, and it's absolutely cheeseball terrible, and I love it. I could watch him all day long. It looks like what Chuck Norris should look like. I highly recommend checking out the Master Ken videos if you get a chance.
Just for the record, I thought you had mistyped it when you put it in there, and I thought you meant Ken Masters. No. And I was like, yeah!
But you know who I'm talking about.
Yes, I do. Once you described it. My number 4 is Who's the Master?
Sho'nuff.
That's right. Bruce Leroy was great, but Sho'nuff had the glow originally.
Just took over that movie.
Man, walked around in his Converse and told people, kiss my Converse. And like we were talking about earlier, he was one martial art artist that went looking for a fight.
Oh, it's such a good... That movie
It's not
is
a good
great.
movie, but it's something you should watch.
But you should watch it. It should be on your list.
It should be on your list to watch on a rainy day when you have... And just sit and watch and just watch it in awe.
Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon.
Nice.
My number 4 is Rock Lee from Naruto. I don't know if any of you guys have watched Naruto.
That's next.
So this is more for Kaj.
I have.
Have you? Oh, yeah. So, Rock Lee is one of those characters that in a world where there is basically magic that these different types of ninja use, he can't. But he still overcomes that by just going full on into his martial arts and is able to overpower the best of the characters that can wield they call it chakra usage in the show, but basically that can wield this magic. He comes at them and he's able to overcome them.
Nice.
My number 4 is going to be the early Nintendo games like Kung Fu and Double Dragon.
I like Kung Fu.
Street Fighter. I like Kung Fu also. That was one of the first games I think we ever got on.
I think I'm gonna go home and try that.
Nintendo. Kung Fu was so easy, and all you did was just either a high kick or a punch.
Yeah, forgot
side scroll.
it.
Side scroll screen, and just walking up and kicking and punching. It was a lot of fun, and of course Street Fighter, Double Dragon.
Yeah,
those ones are
not the movies, but the video games themselves.
The actual video games, early Nintendo.
But honestly, I think those are as important to martial arts as anything else. That's actually a really interesting call that you use that.
Yeah, because any kid that couldn't do martial arts now could do martial arts.
Absolutely.
And it was just an interesting thing that you were that character.
Yeah.
And it fits the video game genre better than anything else, I think. Even at that time and even now.
I played Mortal Kombat this morning and Street Fighter. As a matter of fact, I just bought the upgrade to Street Fighter 5.
Oh, wow.
2 days ago.
Nice.
Can I say, I'm going to give a shout out to my fiance Tara here. I've played Mortal Kombat with her one time, and she wailed on me so hard that I will never play.
She made the drinks.
All it took was one time?
Yeah, one time.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it. We were playing. She's like, "Hey, you want to play Mortal Kombat?" I was like, "Sure." I was like, and then she just destroyed
Girls
me.
don't know how to play video games.
And I was like, "Never again."
I think we all know we're full of crap on that one.
It wasn't
Put the
fun.
controller down, honey.
Yeah, it got to the point where it wasn't fun because she was wailing on me.
It's okay. You went to the happy place and cried, right, for a little while?
100%. Yeah.
Nice.
I don't like you anymore.
My number 3 is going to be all of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
The original version and maybe the late 80s cartoon. After that, I have no interest. But I don't like any of the new stuff at all. But I think the characters and everything else is just such a fun...
Who was your favorite character?
Donatello.
Leo.
Raphael.
Wow, we all got one because I love Michelangelo.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, very nice.
Outstanding.
My number 3 is Jet Li. Preferably his character from Lethal Weapon 3.
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
Or is it 4? Sorry.
No, it was 4, yeah. Yeah, you're
from
right.
Lethal Weapon 4. He was silent. He was deadly.
Mm-hmm.
I love him in all his movies, but that one, that was my introduction to him. So.
And again, not necessarily a it's an action movie.
Yeah.
But then you have a guy who's going to step in and do the martial arts and just completely take over
And he
the movie.
dominated all the way through. So
Well, it's like Bruce Lee as Kato. He just took it over.
yeah.
But it wouldn't have been good without him either, because the movie started to suck about that point.
My number 3 is Jackie Chan. I mean, we've talked him
beat him
up
to
in
death
this
already.
episode, but yeah, I just grew up on him, and he was my first introduction into this whole mythos. So yeah, he's definitely made my list.
I'm gonna side with Jason for my number 3 and go with the Matrix and just go with all the fighting in the Matrix and everything that he did.
The stylized look of it was just amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And that same choreographer is probably going to be in like all of our lists several times over.
Oh, I'm sure.
You guys are gonna smack me, and I've seen the movie thousands of times. I feel like I
tell me about
have
the last two.
vague memory of that first fight with him and Morpheus.
Well, it
Really?
sounds like
just-
we need to have a movie night.
Yeah,
Morpheus just whoops his ass the first time around.
And you know
basically.
what? I have like a vague memory. I don't remember that at all.
yeah. It's
That movie's deep, so
it's that first moment where where Morpheus pushes him to the point where he like starts to believe, because he has that moment where he moves like an agent against Morpheus. It's just I think it's one of the best fights.
Yeah.
I remember all his fights with Agent Anderson.
yeah.
But I just don't. I wish I did.
It's worth rewatching.
Yeah.
The second two, no, those don't exist.
But the
that's like the last season of
Is
Scrubs.
the
It
second
doesn't
one the
exist.
one where he fights all the clones of?
Yeah.
Down in the subway. Yes.
Yeah. See, that's the fight I remember.
No, I mean the
really
fight was cool,
clearly.
but it destroyed all the story that
Oh,
they
I
did.
love
yeah.
the
First
story
one.
of the whole trilogy.
Ugh. Yeah, I didn't like it out. The first one I think is as close to perfect as you can get in a movie. Are we on number 2 now?
Yes.
Yes, we are on
My number
two.
2 is the comic book character and the Netflix series and everything else of Daredevil. There's just when they took his sight away and made all his other senses so much better. It's such an interesting take on martial arts. There was another character, Blind Fury, with Rutger Hauer. Kind of took that same thing, but the Daredevil, I think, perfected that whole scope.
Well,
of
his
that.
is a mixture of martial arts and boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, just absolutely fantastic. Give us more Daredevil. Marvel.
better Batman.
No.
Yeah.
No, stop. Just stop. Just stop.
You just gonna try to stir the pot today, aren't you?
Today?
He was like waiting for me to show up. He's like, gotcha. My number 2, and a lot of the younger ones who will probably not know who this is Bolo Young.
Yes.
And it is in every movie. This
Yes.
man, it is.
The biggest Chinese guy in the world.
In this, the unfortunate thing is in the 90s they tried to. He was a villain for like all the 70s and the 80s.
Every single movie.
Everyone that he
Every
did.
movie
Yeah.
was a villain.
And then in the 90s they tried to do like 2 or 3 movies where they made him like the hero, and it just
No,
didn't
he
work.
shouldn't be a
I was
hero.
like, no, back to bad stuff, buddy.
I am going to proclaim this, and I don't care. Talk to me if you want to afterwards. Van Damme would have beaten Tong Po. I could be with that. He would never beat Bolo Young.
Oh, never, not in a
never.
million
I
years.
don't care. Bolo Young would have smashed him.
He was a beast.
Because you have the body like that, and you know martial arts on top of that. You ain't knocking him
And
out.
he was fast.
Yeah, you ain't knocking him out, and that dude will just break you in half.
And
He
he's
will
one of those
not
guys-
beat Bolo Young.
You may not know the name, but if you see him, you've seen him.
Everybody's seen him.
Everybody's
Yeah.
seen him.
Yeah, I just looked him up. I've seen him and stuff.
Oh yeah.
My number 2, and I'll just go just real quick back on it, is The Matrix as well. Not just for that first fight, but just how the whole series kind of took the martial arts fighting style, and that was the fighting style that they picked for. You could have easily in a movie like that picked any sort of fighting style or any sort of anything with it, and
That's
they
true.
went martial arts, and it worked for the whole series.
Nice.
I'll go. My number 2 is gonna be Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
I just
Tia Carrere.
Who?
Tia Carrere's in that movie.
Tia Carrera?
Is she?
No,
No, not Big Trouble in Little China.
not Big Trouble. I think you're thinking of the wrong movie.
I don't think so.
Tia Carrera, as in Wayne's World.
Yes,
Tia Carrera.
as in
She's
Wayne's
not
World.
in there.
I could have sworn she is.
She is not. It's
it's
actually
Kim Cattrall.
Kim Cattrall is in
Kim
there.
Cattrall.
Oh, no,
I had to think
okay.
about it for a second.
Not
I know
even the
which one I'm
same
thinking of.
race
With the green,
But-
with the magical green eyes.
Yes, yeah. But the whole legend behind it, all their underworld in San Francisco, Egg Shan, all their different powers and everything. The three gods that, or not gods, but the three guys that he has that are all like the elemental people.
I would have called them gods.
Yeah, because the one they definitely Raiden probably had like a little bit, based off of him or whatever. But yeah, I love that movie. It's so good, and on lots of such good quotes too.
Have you ever wondered how we never got a sequel? Because it sets up.
It does.
It sets us up with the monster at the end.
But they did the whole deal about The Rock was going to do it. But then they kind of clarified it.
Terrible.
No, it's still kind of in talks, but they clarified it a little bit where it was just going to take place in the same underworld.
No,
it wasn't going to be an expansion of Jack Burton.
Jack Burton.
Yeah, damn right, you need Jack Burton.
It doesn't need to happen without that.
Oh yeah, they never made a sequel because it was a flop.
Was it?
It did not do good in the movie.
No,
It's
it
still
went to cult classic.
Yeah, it's cult classic.
It's a cult classic.
Yeah,
Its
absolutely.
budget was $25 million and it only made 11.
Yeah, it didn't do good
And at
at
that
the box
time,
office
that's
at
a-
all.
That's a bomb.
huge.
Yeah.
That answers it.
Okay, so we're at number 1 now?
Yep.
Yep.
And my number 1 is going to be not Chuck Norris the man, but Chuck Norris the myth.
The legend.
Well, no, it's the Chuck Norris jokes, the boogeyman checks under his bed for Chuck Norris. Superman wears Chuck Norris underwear. Blah 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 blah. I love that.
I do?
It's just something. No, honestly, I think that's one of the more entertaining things that come out of the martial arts world is the Chuck Norris.
Yeah. The man who was
Yeah.
bitten by a snake and then 3 days
Later,
after 3 days
the
of
snake
excruciating pain, the snake died.
Yeah, I think these could go on forever, but it's it's fun, and I like a little fun with my martial arts, and yeah.
No, I agree with that. The whole thing is just great, and I would love to hear him just candidly talk about how everybody thinks he's like the most badass person on the earth.
Yeah.
Just like a candid interview about that's true. So
What, you didn't know?
And supposedly a very, very nice guy.
Yeah, he.
Yes.
I worked at the South Point movie theater, and he came in to see a movie, and
Did your roundhouse kick you?
he didn't roundhouse kick me, but he actually keeps like a stack of business cards that are signed
Oh, really?
in his
That's cool.
pocket, and
Oh, cool.
he gave them out to everyone who was working that
oh,
day.
that's awesome.
Chuck Norris was so badass that you didn't even know you had a business card in your
And I
pocket
even-
after he left.
Nice. And I even watched Dodgeball this morning.
Oh, wow.
With a quick little Chuck Norris in it too.
Thank you,
Nice.
Chuck Norris.
Yikes. I could take the easy road and say Bruce Lee, because he is the GOAT, the greatest, I believe, of all time. But I'm going with Bruce Lee's character Lee from Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
Because if that wasn't the most suave, cocky, smooth character ever, just like in the beginning when he has to do a tournament, he just gets up and he's like, whack, and just like pops the guy in the face, and you're like, and he's looking around like, do I have to be here?
Which one of y'all just kicked me?
Yep.
He makes Shaft look like he's filled with self-doubt.
Man, doesn't he?
Yeah. Such a great movie.
My number 1 was originally just a single character, but I want to call out the whole movie now. But it was Betty from Kung Pao Enter the Fist,
Nice.
the villain of that movie. But just that movie is, from start to finish, hilarious.
Yeah.
I just, from the cow to the, Betty the villain to
His tongue.
his tongue, it's just crazy.
And now Blythe and I have Civil War.
Oh, very nice. My number 1 is going to be an actual, they kind of call it a defining movie as far as it came out for martial arts, especially like through Hollywood, and that's Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Just for the fight choreography that they did. I don't think Chow Yun-fat actually gets enough credit for what he does to the martial arts genre, and especially through that movie. And then, like you said earlier, what's her face?
Michelle Yeoh.
Michelle Yeoh. And then the younger lady who's in it, who's also in like Rush Hour, and
yeah, I forgot
it's
about
like
her.
Zia something is her name, but just everything to do with that movie, everything about the sword, about the revenge, about long love, and just that movie is just perfect, and it's such a slow movie too. But when it starts, when they start fighting,
When it goes, it goes.
it's beautiful. Everything is beautiful with that movie.
And it's actually a martial art movie that makes you think. 'Cause I know the first time I saw it, I I want to say, for lack of better phrasing, I wasn't old enough to really grasp what I had been watching. And I watched it a couple of years later, and I was like, oh, wow, this really is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, well, that is the show, guys. Stick around through the music, and you can hear the how to get a hold of us on everything. If you're listening to us on YouTube, or go to YouTube anyway, subscribe and like our videos, comment. That means a lot to us. That helps us out a ton, a metric poop ton, I think. So until next time, I'm Dub.
I am the Black Geek, who's also noticed he doesn't hear comments about him in there. Comment about the geek.
I'm Blythe.
I'm Mr. Winchester.
Keep on geeking on.
My kung fu is better than yours.
Hadouken!
You have been listening to the latest episode of the iHeart Geek Show. Make sure you visit our website at www.iheartgeekshow.com. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you check us out on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And keep on geeking on to all of you geek rock stars.